Welcome back to Parents to Swear, episode 3. I'm not hungover this time. We just talked for, I don't know, 4.5 minutes about how last episode went. And our guest mic was turned off the whole time. So we're going to start that over.
Let's start over.
But anyways, got roofied at a 25-year-old's birthday party. And then we were talking about Stephanie, our guest, brought up adult hangovers, right? And whether you're hungover in the morning or in the afternoon.
Yeah, because when I was in college, I totally would be hungover in the morning. But then as I got older, I would stay drunk till midday and then start getting hungover in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hair of the dog. But I wonder too, if the hangover when it hits also evolves with what you're drinking, right? Because you're obviously not drinking the same shit you were drinking in college, right? You've upgraded. You've gone from, Hawkeye vodka to at least a solid $12 bottle of red, I
think I was drinking pitchers of beer, of the cheapest beer,
Mm-hmm.
in bars, and then whatever well shot they were, we were rejoicing in at the time.
Yeah.
So, but I think probably the quality of alcohol as I got old, maybe that's part of it.
Yeah.
Could be, because man, those shitty beer hangovers are rough.
They are.
And people swear that there's a difference between bottled alcohol and poured beer. I mean, you know what I mean?
Tap.
The tap beer is supposed to be give you much worse hangovers than bottled beer.
I never heard that. I've always heard the liquor before beer thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if you're drinking that much, it's a flip of the coin whether you're gonna be hungover anyways. If you're going beer and liquor hard on one night, I don't think your stomach and your brain don't give a fuck which one comes first. Right?
So,
Yes. Did you guys ever try? Because I remember at some point people would talk about pill packs or something. Are they vitamin packs that people take that make them not have a hangover? I've never done that.
I've tried some of those. They never work. The biggest thing, probably the best thing I've found recently is a product called Liquid IV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You mix it in water and it essentially hydrates you 3 times faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, if you're hungover, you're just hungry.
Right.
There's no science. The technology is not there yet. We can't get past hangovers. And it's probably a good thing because there's times where I cut myself off because I know it's this one's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
Sweet. Somebody's just giving you a bunch of sweet drinks, sweet cocktails at a wedding or something. You're
yes,
this one's going to suck. I should
Yeah.
probably slow down a bit.
Yeah.
But again, this episode 3 of Parents That Swear. I am your host, Bill Schofield, joined by my lovely wife, Stacy. And Stacy, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, so this is a good friend of ours. Her name is Stephanie. She is a realtor here in Iowa. I figure, Stephanie, you can kind of just give a little bit of background about yourself, what you do, your lifestyle, household, whatnot.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep. So know you guys, obviously, from being your realtor multiple times.
Sorry.
Yes. Yes. No, it's wonderful. I'm thankful for you. And have lived in West Des Moines since I was 10. Was born in Wisconsin. My dad played football for the Badgers. My mom was kind of a hippie, so we sort of moved to Colorado Springs for a while after that. Moved back to Iowa, lived in a small town, so I had the small town sort of life until I was 10, and then West Des Moines since I was 10. Went to Iowa, came back, flipped houses, had some kids, became a landlord, had 120 rental units.
Oh my gosh.
And then still selling real estate.
Yeah.
So married, divorced still.
So when you were flipping houses, were you married?
I was single.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you do all the work yourself?
Some of it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, so you're handy.
I mean, I can do, the grunt work,
right,
is what I call.
yeah.
Nothing skilled. Trust me, I've tried, and it is not pretty. Not like you guys. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, I mean.
But you are your biggest critic, you know what I mean? When I do work here, I'm like, ugh. Other people are like, it's beautiful. And I'm like, no, I see the imperfections.
Oh,
yeah. I think that would probably be the same with even a skilled craftsman because there's no such thing really as perfection.
No, I know.
Because lumber is never,
No,
and
I know. Walls are never that straight.
No.
Floors are never that straight.
No.
Yeah, I get it. Especially the older the houses,
Yes. Yeah, or if they're framed poorly or
Well, I mean, even this house compared to our old house, this house is 80 years newer, But we still, like, when we were building this thing, she's like, why is this like crooked? It's like, probably because the floors have a slope to them, or like the wall, the drywall's bowed, or, you know.
Yeah.
So, and there's some things even in, I mean, this is fairly new construction, right? 2017?
No, 2015.
2015, even still. There's stuff in this house when I'm doing projects, like, what the fuck were they thinking when they did this shit? And it's all, it's like, in the basement, there's one outlet in the basement. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know, right?
But you're like, well, that's just code says one outlet, so they made one outlet.
Yeah.
So now I got to put like a sub box down in the basement. The basement, which is drying out because they use like some sort of dumb flex coupler for the sump pump to the drain, and that blew off right when we were having like 8 inches of rain in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
God.
yeah, the basement is a mess. My studio down there is a bit of a mess. So luckily it was all kind of contained to around the floor drain anyways.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a bitch to clean up for sure.
Yeah, it was funny. He was down there, like,
with a push broom.
yeah, like just getting it towards the drain. And I was like, so what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm cleaning. I was like, well, don't you want to fix it first? A problem? He goes, well, don't you walking through all this water? I want to clean it first. And then, and as we're literally talking,
I hear, I was like, oh
the sump
shit.
pump like shoots up all this, and I've never seen this like in person. So I was like, oh my god! And it was like all this water. It was dirty water.
Dirty
too,
water,
like,
yeah.
shot up in the air all over my kids' Christmas trees that are down there. And I'm like,
Oh.
hoping those are salvageable because they were not cheap. And I was like. I was like, all right, I'll let you be. Just know, like, Stephanie will be here in an hour, and we need to set up. So he's like, I'm coming.
Oh my God.
So yeah, the mics won't pick it up, but you can hear the fans down there now.
Do you have enough fans and dehumidifiers and stuff?
Yeah, I don't have a dehumidifier. That's probably going to be my stop after this. But I've got a couple big barn fans down there.
I have one I can loan you.
Yeah, and then her parents have like those big air movers, on the floor. So I'm gonna go grab a couple of those. It should.
You know what else works for that is Jumpy, the blowers for jumpies, the things that kids inflatables that blow up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, I mean, again, it wasn't a lot of water, and it was kind of contained to like the utility area, and the basement's not like finished. So,
right.
Yeah.
So not a huge deal. Unlike it was fucking flooded with a finished basement.
Oh, that's what I told him. Like, first thing I was like, thank God it's not finished yet. Like,
thank God. I know.
Yeah, that's what. Well, your dad when he moved to Iowa, they had a finished basement, and then like that spring,
yes,
that
the
huge
flood of 2018, and everybody's basements in Gabriel got
and
flooded.
His basement flooded, and immediately, like your house, you're pretty much upside down at that point, right?
And he had such a beautiful finished basement.
And I will say though, like when they redid it looks better now.
Yeah.
Thankfully, but I remember being like, oh, this sucks.
One reason why, like, if we do finish the basement, I'm like, maybe we go with like tile instead of carpet.
We've
like
actually talked
tile.
about epoxying the floors down there.
Totally.
And just keep them concrete.
Yes. Tons of people do those swirly.
Yeah.
And then you just keep really nice rugs down.
Yep.
I always say you can just roll the rug up and throw it away when your kids trash it.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't get anything fancy down there. But yeah, we've talked about epoxying it.
And some people will even get carpet and just not have it laid, just have it edged. The seam where they seam around the edge so it looks like it fits perfectly.
Yeah, that's smart.
So Stephanie is our realtor. We have purchased 2 houses with her, and as well as referred her to all our family.
Yep.
I think you've been the realtor for everybody that's moved to Iowa from our family.
Thank you.
And I would probably say out of everybody, surprisingly, I've got to be the biggest pain in the ass to house shop for.
No. Well, okay, so to be fair, you guys came in when the market was totally unbalanced.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And so your house was easy to sell.
Right.
But it was like so hard. It was like
I know.
Your price range was just so hard to find during that time.
It was like a bidding war. Like you can't even, the thought of even asking was like, you're joking. Like you got to go high. And then you go too high and they're like, well, will you take the contingency off of like, if it appraises? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
We're not that dumb. Like,
I think the highest you guys offered on a house that you didn't get was 50 over list price.
And we didn't get it.
Yeah, I remember that house. It was a cute house. But
I remember being absolutely furious about it too.
I know. Me too.
I think Stacy was on the phone with you, and it was the house with the people from Pittsburgh, or they had all the Pittsburgh like Steelers, Pitt,
God, that was such a nice
all
house.
that. And I think we said, like, obviously, like Penguins, they're from Pittsburgh and are very proud of it, which is annoying in itself. But I remember I was like, I'm done with games, 50 grand over, and we want an answer in like 2 hours. And
right.
And they're like, well, we have kids. Like, you can give some time, 8 o'clock the next morning, you call Stacy, and you're like, oh, well, actually, the time they were just shopping the house. They were using your offer. So I was like, pull the offer and tell them I said Pittsburgh will never win a championship ever again. But I was so mad. I was
know.
like, God
Because that house was like, it checked all the boxes. It sucked.
Well, it did. But luckily, we found this house, which we love, which is perfect. So, realty, like...
It's a trip, man.
Yeah.
It is. I was gonna ask,
dramatic.
Is it kind of slowing down a little bit now? Like,
So it is slowing down.
That's good.
Yep. It's better for the buyers.
Right.
Not as good for the sellers.
Right.
So instead of just, and it did just kind of level off for a little bit there. And really it is still a more healthy, balanced market. It's not just total insanity.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, sellers aren't going to be, they just waited about 6 months too long.
I know.
You know?
I think I know you can agree to this, but I feel like we sold our house like top
Prime.
dollar. We will never get that
Prime.
much ever again.
Right.
So it was a blessing in disguise. I wish we were fortunate enough to like be able to either, I would say, move into a family member's home, but really like.
Yeah, just sell the house and then
just
go
sit
and
and
sit on the
wait.
cash
Right.
for a while.
A lot of people did that. They
I
literally
know.
sold at the
And
top
then,
and then
yeah.
rented for 6 months,
Yep.
and then they're
But
either
I
building
remember
or
looking for rentals though, and I just couldn't find anything I liked. And then also
Well, that was in the price range.
districts,
Everything's
like we're changing. And I was like, well, what if we don't stay? I don't want to change schools like with their
Right.
oldest, and just I was like, ugh. So it's fine. I feel like we've put a lot of money into this house, so
No, I like the house, and the only house, unless, we're here for the foreseeable future, unless this show picks up and we make a bunch of money, then I want the house I want next is for sale or not, Stephanie, is 3300 Fuller Avenue. Are you familiar with this house?
Oh, the $8 million house
Is it $8 million? I thought last time it was for sale, it was 2.
across from Southwoods.
It's a little further south down Fuller, closer to my work, and it's like this super 80s looking, like kind of back off.
Does
like
it
that
have
house.
the like fences, the built,
No,
the
not
screens?
that one. Not that one. So past that to the intersection,
Yes.
and then not the house in the corner. The next one. It's like this weird, like modern Art Deco thing, kind of set back in the woods.
Oh.
But it's
it still for
insane.
sale?
No, it's not for sale anymore. But it was when it was for sale, it was like $2 million, and it's sitting on like 5 acres off of Fuller Avenue, and it's so super 80s. Like mirrors everywhere. It's like this weird, like rectangular, multi-level. And I'm just-
I know the one. Is
Yeah.
it kind of in the woods a little
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah. Yep.
I totally know the one.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of my good realtor friends sold that to the current owners.
Yeah.
Like a few,
Yeah.
I don't know. Years go so
Yeah.
fast. I don't know if it was
That's
5 or 8
that's the
or
next
what.
house I want.
Yeah, that's a cool house. You love contemporary, huh?
does.
I do,
He's
because I
very-
just think I looked at that house and I was like, I can only imagine how much like cocaine was consumed in this house.
Oh, my
And the weird sex
God.
parties. There's no pool though, which
That's
really
so funny
disappointed me.
you say that, because I have another friend who's a real estate agent. I sold her last house, and then she got into real estate. And she used to live in a house in Johnston in the woods that one of the who were the Des Moines band that wear the masks?
Oh, Slipknot.
One of the Slipknot, and she goes, "Oh my God, it was like shag carpet and
Oh, I
black
believe
and
it.
red." And I mean, can you imagine
Yeah.
the like woo?
Yeah, but
Talking about drugs consumed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I know that they do drugs or anything.
Right,
But
but
I'm
it
just,
just-
yeah.
no, I've actually met the lead singer of Slipknot at a party here. Like I worked with a guy who went to high school with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy fuck! Like
No way.
it's like, are they like,
Is that
are they
Corey
crazy?
Taylor?
Corey
Is he the
Taylor,
singer?
yeah.
Yeah, he's hot.
I was like, is he crazy? Like, are these guys like nuts? He's like, no, they're huge nerds. He's like, they're huge nerds. So like, I ended up
Yeah.
going to like a house party and he was there. I was like, oh, this guy actually is like a huge nerd.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's so funny because one of my kids' friends' moms is like this Korean. I think she's Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
She's Japanese, I think, and she's obsessed with them. Like
Oh my gosh.
obsessed. And she was like a drummer. She loves heavy metal. Yeah, you know, when you're like 50
Yeah.
and she's teeny tiny and just
Yeah.
the sweetest, right? Just so sweet. But she's like a headbanger.
I would have never guessed that.
Right? I know. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I know a lot of people are super into Slipknot. I've never gotten into it. It stresses me out. It's like, just why are you yelling? Like,
Yeah.
calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down, man. Like,
I was a club girl, so
Yeah.
I was always into like and I guess I could probably still,
Like Ace of Base.
I love remixes
Oh,
and dance
yes.
music, like some EDM and
Was the rhythm of the night the rhythm of your life?
yes, probably like if I was going to pick one, the most I listened to like when I was working out would be like Technotronic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. You've told me this story. I might have to have you tell it now about
Oh.
spring break in Miami.
Oh, that was the Super Bowl in
Oh, was it
Miami.
the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah. We're looking at houses. Stacy is like walking around this house, and all of a sudden, Stephanie's like, yeah, like the house had a bunch of like retro Miami shit in it.
Yes.
Like, this reminds me of like when I was at the Super Bowl in Miami.
Yeah.
And then you said,
Yeah.
and I was in a limo with this person. I was like, I stopped
Yes.
immediately. Stacy kept looking, and we just sat in the kitchen while you told me the story. Like,
Right.
who were you in the limo with?
Ricky Waters.
Right.
Yes. Oh, and some of his friends who I don't know, but like we were at, like Will Smith's Playboy party and
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman's, like, and we were like VIP. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
I just remember like the Backstreet Boys were
Yeah,
there, and and that's when they were like, but I didn't recognize the guy, and I was like, "You look so familiar. Are you like an actor?" And he's like, "I'm a singer." And one of the guys in the group we were with were like, "He's a Backstreet Boy stuff." Duh. And I was like,
But then, like, wasn't like J-Lo there with Puff Daddy?
J-Lo. Okay,
Yeah.
so we were on the beach. We had our hotel on the beach. Is it too far away from me?
You're good.
And we were sitting out. They had, a couple bars upstairs and inside and outside, and we're sitting out on like the patio. And these hot chicks go walking by, and this was like,
Well, you're hanging
A
out with Ricky
while
Waters
ago.
and Puff Daddy. I'm assuming you were one of the hot chicks. in
I mean,
Miami.
I was super
Yeah.
hot back
Yeah.
then. I was, I mean,
Yeah. I seen your
You
daughter.
still got it.
yeah. And so these hot chicks come walking by, and I was like, oh, that's that girl. I didn't even know
Yeah.
who she was back then, right? But just kind of like up and coming type of.
Yeah.
So this would have been 98 or 99. I don't know what year
Right.
it would have been. We're like, oh my God, that's Jennifer Lopez. Okay. So coming down the street is a convertible car, and some guy jumps out, runs across the street. Girls are walking this way. The car's coming the opposite way. It's Jamie Foxx, and jumps over, runs
God, I
over to
love Jamie
Jennifer
Foxx.
Lopez, takes a picture with her, and then like
Yeah.
runs and jumps in the car.
Oh,
So
you got starstruck with her.
right.
That's
So
so
yeah. So yeah. So that's like
That's really funny because in my mind, that's the most talented man in the world right now.
yeah.
Going out of his way to take a picture with the most talentless person on the world.
Oh,
I'm not a J. Like, she can dance, but like marginal actor, marginal singer.
Right. Yeah.
But she also like, she can dance and she's hot. She's good
Yeah.
at just being fucking hot.
like
Yeah.
this just oozing
And
sexuality.
I think that's what she wants.
Right?
She just wants to be famous,
Yeah.
which is why she
Yes.
like remarried Ben Affleck. They both just want to be famous.
You think?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ben
God,
Affleck-
because they're famous on their own already.
Yeah, I think.
And don't you think of him as kind of a low key? Do you think he wants
I think.
fame?
I think he wants to party.
Yeah.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Gardner, snooze fest, right? I'm sure she's
Right.
a nice lady, but
She's probably a really great mom.
Yeah.
right. And he's like, he wants to like be in 2 a.m. in Vegas, just smoking a pack of cigarettes
Right.
and gambling like a degenerate, which is
Yeah.
why like J-Lo's mom apparently gets along with him real well. Like the two of them will just go to Vegas and get in the high
Oh,
rollers room.
still?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's drinking and partying and everything still.
yeah.
Well, I think he went to rehab a couple times.
Yeah, because of Jennifer Gardner. Now he's with J-Lo and she's just like, just keep being famous and making me look good and do what you want. Like,
I don't really think of him as that like hot, but I think they both have like sparkly personalities,
Yes.
they're like
Yeah.
amazing. But sometimes when people like that, I'm always like, I wonder if they have really like hot sex.
maybe.
Right.
You
But,
know,
Yeah.
like, is it hot and heavy?
well, I'm sure
feel
the
like it
sex is
would
great
be with
because, I mean,
Hurley.
she's hot.
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure it's great, but also I can see being married to her. Like, she is so involved in just being J-Lo. Like, it's a full-time job to be
Right.
J-Lo in the public. Sure, sometimes
Yes.
it's probably just like, God, dude, like,
I mean, we're busy. Can you imagine being
Oh
those
my
people?
gosh, no.
What a nightmare.
Like,
Plus, you can't live your life at all. Like when my kids were little, I was like, be rich, but don't be famous.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to be like you think you want to be famous when you're a
Right.
kid, but how miserable.
I know.
Ugh.
Yeah, you
I
can't
know.
do shit.
I think about that often, actually. People that are rich and famous, and I'm like, gosh, that's awesome. But also, like, I feel like it'd be better if you were just rich. And, like,
Be rich.
No,
Be
not
rich
a
and
no one,
anonymous.
but like just a
Exactly.
normal person, because then you can live your own life. You can truly enjoy your wealth and not be
Yes.
like paparazzis and like just
Yes.
all that drama that comes
Yes.
with it, you know.
Oh,
But, enough
Nightmare.
of that, So you went from being the late 90s hot chick in Miami, like neon thong bikinis, doing coke with whoever in mansions, to being a mother of 3 now.
right.
So how
Yeah.
old are your kids?
So my oldest is a girl, Suzanne, and she is 22. And then my middle child is a boy, and he's 20, Scott. And then Sloan is 14, and he's a boy. So, yeah.
It's a big age gap between. I didn't
I know.
realize that. Was that an oops?
Well, I mean, not to like be a downer, but there was a previous pregnancy that was an oops.
Yeah.
Lost that pregnancy.
Yeah.
And I kind of like hormonally, I think, lost my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Happens,
Because
yeah.
we were not planning on
Right,
more
right,
kids.
right.
And so I was like,
But also, I've read that
Got yourself
once
worked up
you-
with the one,
once
and
you
then it
lose
didn't
one,
come
like,
through,
You
and then-
also get very fertile. I've read like
Oh, really?
I have some moms that have miscarried, and then like the doctors have been like they tell them like wait some time before you try again,
Mm-hmm.
but then because you're super kind of like after you have a baby, like you're super fertile. So
wow, I haven't heard that.
yeah, I was like, oh
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Sloan was planned because I was nuts
Yeah.
during that.
I was ready for a baby. I want to have one.
I was
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah.
You know,
imagine.
at first,
yeah.
like we found out we were pregnant and we're like,
oh, shit.
how the fuck did that happen? And
We know how this happens.
But then you get pregnant and you love that baby.
Yeah, you're excited.
You know?
Like,
yeah.
okay, well, it'll be fine.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
good.
yeah. And yeah, so I was kind of devastated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why. And I'm telling you, I was 37 when I gave birth to Sloan, and I was sick my whole pregnancy, like thought I was dying. And then just being old and being a mom is like an ass kicker.
Oh yeah.
Were you already like pretty deep into your professional career at that point as well?
I mean, I have always kind of been a workaholic. I started working when I was like walking beans at 7 years old, you know, babysat for
Yeah.
my neighbor down, 50 hours a week starting
Yep.
at 10, and always, just always worked because my mom made us, we had to make our own money.
No, actually
Yeah.
I grew up the exact same way.
Yeah.
The second I turned 15, I was legal age to work. Like, which I appreciate my parents for doing this, but yeah, I had to get a job, and then like they assigned. At the time, I didn't have a car yet, but they were like, "You're gonna be responsible for 1/3 of the cell phone bill." So they would make me add like a portion of it. At the time, it was just like
Ooh.
me, my stepdad, and then my mom. My brother was too young to work, and my sister was a toddler. And then as I got older and I got my own car, they bought it, but then they were like, "But you're gonna be responsible for your insurance. Like you have to." So then I had this sense of
Nice.
responsibility where
Yeah.
I have to make X amount of dollars per
Right.
month to pay my bills. Like So yeah, I've been working since I was 15.
Well, otherwise you have no appreciation for it. I feel
don't.
like I have really spoiled my kids.
Yeah, my parents were very much opposite. Like they didn't like spoil me, but it's like okay,
Your
like
dad did.
we got you a car. Like don't worry about it. Like I still had jobs and shit, but it was mainly just like
Yeah, spending money.
Yeah.
spending money.
spending money.
Party
but
money.
yeah, and admittedly of the two of us, I am the worst one with money
Yeah.
now.
And actually, I will say, you've gotten a lot better. But when we first started dating, like, and we moved in together, because I had been on my own since I was 17, so I knew like rent, utilities, we got to pay your cell phone, car insurance, auto. Like, I was very financially oriented in the sense that like, okay, we got to pay your bills like
Yeah.
at the time of the month, and he was like,
Like nah.
oh, and then I was like, oh my, you don't like. And
No.
then if he got in a jam, he just like his dad would give him money, and I was like, well, that must be nice.
Thanks, Dad.
Like I don't have that luxury. Like no one's gonna help me, so I have to make sure I make my bills every month. Like
Here's the thing: you say no one would help you. If it happened, they'd help you.
Yeah.
I don't think it would actually.
It's like, oh, I had to get my car fixed. You help with rent. Like they would have helped you. Yeah, they would have.
No, your dad helped.
So do you suck at asking though, too?
I don't ask. I have too much pride.
Right. See, me
I
too.
think I would only ask if I was in a situation where like I'm about to lose my house and like we have like something so serious where it
Right.
affects my children.
Yes.
But even then, I would only ask my mom. I would not ask my
Right.
dad. I would never go there ever.
Right. So did that work ethic? Do your kids have the same kind of thing, or
Well, I think my daughter 150%.
That's good.
Oh, she is like, she's extra,
Yeah,
extra,
which is
extra.
good.
She's very hardcore. Like, if she doesn't have LAs, she's not happy. If her, she is just so like involved in so much stuff that she really doesn't need to be. I'm always like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, you do
She likes
not
to be
need to
busy.
add, like, take a break. You just did, all this. You were like the president. Now it's just stop. Don't be on any more committees. Like, just give yourself an emotional, because you do get burned out when you're
Yeah.
just going. Especially if you do it for, years sometimes, or like decades, like
Yeah.
myself. And, my son, my middle child was a, 4-sport athlete until he was in high school.
They
And
still have those? Oh, about to say in high school, I think when I was in high school, like if you were in athletics, like the coaches were like, if you played football, the coach was like, oh,
Right.
you're going to do something during the winter, right? And you're
Yeah.
going to do something in the spring.
Right.
Now it seems like in high school, like once you get to high school, it's like you're focusing on one thing.
yes.
And that's it. So you don't get a lot of multi-sport.
because they do overlap.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know, other people in particular, sometimes like baseball workouts, interfere with football workouts and that kind of stuff. And the kids can actually get in trouble sometimes
Yeah.
because they're mad at the coaches, but then they take it out on the kids.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
in a weird way,
Yeah.
like they shouldn't be conflicting with each other.
Exactly.
I know that they love football players to wrestle. And Scott
Really?
did that up until he was a sophomore. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because of the balance of it all.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
so he
it keeps
did that.
You really limber too.
yes.
I feel like when you're out in the field, you have to like,
And agile.
yeah.
So you said he's 20, correct?
He's 20.
Is he playing anywhere? Like
No.
in school somewhere? No?
No, he had some offers, but
For football?
yeah, he was, he got injured his back at one point, and I think one of his knees, will like never be the same. And
It's one of those things you need to know at some point. Like,
Yeah.
I need you to stop.
I was upset with him. This is like a poor parenting thing. I'm going to just be honest. I was upset with him that he didn't want to go on and play college football. And he was like, I only have one body.
That is so true.
That's true. Yeah.
And then
that's-
I was
that's-
like,
I know. Then you're like, okay.
I'm an asshole. Like, why did I even have my kids
No, I
in
mean-
sports, right?
I mean, you get it. Like you invested, for one, probably a decent amount of money, but a
And
lot
time.
of time
My
into
whole
this, right?
existence.
Yeah.
And,
And with 3 kids and just me and all those sports and competitive cheerleading and show choir and and drama and plays and it's been a trip.
Yeah.
I had a friend.
I'm
and
tired.
It was weird. I mean, I graduated over 15 years ago now, but so even more weirder back then. But he had a bunch of offers for school for football, and he just one day is like, you know what? Like I know I'm not going to get drafted. So like,
Right.
why am I going to like destroy my body
Yes.
to get a degree that is like not going to be doing something I want? It's just going to be something I can do while
Right.
playing football. So he's like, yeah, no, so he went to college without a scholarship and did what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that I can say is like, I can tell you that Suzanne and I were in her counselor's office at one point. We were talking about college, scholarships and all the financial aid and that, what our options were for getting her scholarships as a, an AP student
Right,
and
yeah.
all those things. So taking the AP classes in high school, that did take away, like 3/4 of a year
Yeah.
that she needed to graduate. So that was free. But again, with the AP classes, she wanted to do it. And I was like, here's the deal. I knew some people that were AP in high school and they were miserable, like
Yeah.
sometimes suicidal, because they're in these AP classes with all these geniuses.
Right.
And and the geniuses don't even have to look at the shit.
Yeah.
They hear
Right.
it and they know it. And it's
Yeah.
like, and they're just regular people just trying super hard and they can't compete. You cannot compete with those
Yeah.
mega smart brainiacs,
Yeah, you can socially.
Socially, absolutely. And I do think that, many times people with a good personality do better in life long term than the
Right.
super.
Yeah. It's been like obviously like I'm never going to discourage my kids from going to college, but I think lately, and this is me, and I think kind of the world is also looking at it this way, like, and when I was in high school, I kind of noticed it and had an issue with it then, but like they push 4-year degrees on kids, on an 18-year-old kid, well, even before that, and they make it to where like, oh, if you don't go to college, and go like $100,000 in debt. Like, well, I guess you're going to work at McDonald's, which is not the truth.
It's not. No,
you know, so,
it's not that extreme.
You know, so obviously, like if you want to go get a 4-year degree, that's fine. But if like my kids was like, oh, I want to go to DMAC up here and get go to a trade school and be a welder, I'm like, great, like do that.
I mean, those people can make more money sometimes than the regular corporate employees.
True,
so
yeah, I think also as
be a
long
lot
as you
happier
have, like,
in their jobs as well.
Not so much debt either. And also I feel like a lot of times when you just have a lot of experience in the field, it gets you up there. So for example, like my stepdad, who was like pretty high up at John Deere as an engineer, doesn't have an engineering degree. He just
worked his way up.
Worked his way up. So like when he got in his job at John Deere, he was so knowledgeable about the equipment that he like got into a really good pay level. And then it was like just from working, which I mean I think that's the shitty end of not going to college. Well,
you
have to work your way up versus
that's the school of hard knocks, as they call it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, still, like some stuff, like I was talking to somebody one time, and they were going to a very expensive private college to get a degree in women's studies, and I was like, okay, like, do you like it? Like, oh yeah. I was like, well, what are you gonna do with that? Just like become a social worker? And I was just kind of like, I'm not trying to shit on what you're doing, but like if you went and got a 2-year degree in social work and then went into the field,
right?
Yeah.
By the time you're like, so after 3 years of starting a tier lower with a 2-year degree, by the time you would have got out with your 4-year degree, which actually takes 5 years now, you're probably going to be in the same position as you would have been, or a higher one,
right?
Making better money because of the work experience.
Yeah, and they're so much further ahead with 4 years of work experience. You know,
but I could do a whole episode on rethinking how we approach college.
I started as a business and major and a Spanish minor, and I fucking hated it. I hated the charts and graphs and all that shit. So then I switched to American Studies, which women's studies is a part of, and it's just all biography. But I have to say, I'm terrible at writing papers, but reading all that biography, it just did give me a lot of perspective on different, what they call the isms, classism, racism, ageism,
sexism.
all the stuff that, and in a weird way, like, especially with what our country has been going, and I don't want to get into that, so that was good. But I just said to my kids, I really would like you to have the freshman experience. Go live in a dorm. And of course, the big C kind of fucked that up for both of them. But to me, it's more like a life experience, like a transition of sort of growing, and in a weird way being in a dorm, although bad things happen there. I mean, most of the time it's slightly like regulated because there's a person on the floor and stuff like that.
But I mean, probably off the top of my head, more so than not, most people I ask about, because I've done a show on my other podcast about the college system and stuff, and a lot of people said the most beneficial part of their 4-year degree was just the college experience.
Yes, learning to live on your own.
Like going into the working world, it's like, that degree, like,
no,
didn't really get me all that far.
It's almost like a status quo in a weird way. It's like people are like, now, are your kids in college? It's like they sort of judge you a little bit. And Scotty is at Kirkwood. It's not like a university.
Especially in Iowa, right? I moved here and I was like, I've never seen so many people obsessed with 2 colleges.
Right. Well, we don't have any professional sports, and nor probably will we, because people are so crazy about our university. I mean, it is so intense, which there's some beauty in that,
No,
I don't mind it. I work with a bunch of engineers, so they're all Iowa State people. And I will say there's a huge difference in the mentality of fan bases between Iowa and Iowa State. The Iowa State people, I'll tell you off air, but
you don't want anybody mad at you, right?
Like it's different.
Yeah,
it's a lot different.
Yeah, because I would love to hear your theory as an outsider. Yeah. So I know what I was going to say. So we were in that counselor's office with my daughter, and he of course is a sports fan because he was a guy. He's a dude, right? And we were talking about my younger child not being that great in school, but getting, colleges emailing me and stuff like that. And my daughter got so mad that she cried. Oh. I know, it was very sad. It was very sad. And she's like, because she's trying so hard to be
she's trying hard to get academically to get a scholarship,
which is what school is supposed to be for,
which is almost
right?
impossible now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, unless you're one of these AP kids who just like an over 4.0 GPA.
I know. And
top of your class.
She did everything above and beyond in school and just activities and stuff. And the guy was kind of he was a very, very super nice man, which why I was kind of surprised this came out of his mouth. It was kind of a dick thing to say. He goes, there's only so many offensive linemen in the state of Iowa, and there's 65,000 I don't know what the number was.
Kind of downplaying like
A
her
plus
efforts.
students.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I would have been like, guess which ones are going to make more contribution to society, dude. Like,
I know. So that was like, that was sort of like a shocking. I get it.
I'm sitting here thinking of how I would react, but in reality, I'd probably just be like, the fuck? And then we'd leave, and I'd be in the car, like lighting the dude up in the car.
Yeah,
like,
they're both amazing, right? Yeah. It takes a lot of discipline to do what she did. It takes a lot of discipline to go and have your body beat up like that for decades of your life and still go back. They have you running when it's 105 degrees out. Then you're running when it's
-20.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so extreme here in the state, particularly outdoor weather.
Yeah.
And they do, they work hard. So in a weird way, my kids, they're both really great, and just, and Sloan's, got his own set of stuff too.
What's so does he do sports?
He has been same thing, just in all the sports. Right now he has decided that he wants to be a golfer.
Ooh,
he's obsessed with golf.
That is actually, if you're decent, you don't have to be good. If you're decent at golf, good scholarships.
Yes, I know.
To nice schools.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. And I need to get better. Like last winter, we were doing really well getting him in to trainings and stuff like that. And then my middle child also has become obsessed with golf because his roommate this year works at a golf course. And so they go play 18 every other day, and it's free because his friend works there.
Well, that helps. That's probably the biggest issue with golf. I love golf. You know this, but I haven't played in 2 years, but well, I mean, with 2 small kids and then doing podcasting, screen printing, 50 hours at work.
I don't know how you do it.
I mean, on a Saturday, I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, can I get like 6.5 hours to go get drunk on a golf course?
Yeah.
And pay like $65 to go do it.
I think that you guys should try hard though to schedule stuff that makes you happy, because like you need to schedule stuff.
She bowls.
Yeah. I bowl. I'm in a bowling league.
I know. Yes, how is that?
It's good. It's fun. I just think about it. I'm like the only female there this season. I just think I'm just so glad that I'm actually cute. So like everyone just like when I bowl like shit, I typically do, because these bowlers have been bowling for like 20 years. Here I am like a year and a half in. I think I bowled like a 140 yesterday, which is pretty good actually, considering like if you don't bowl.
Yeah.
But if you do bowl or you're a good bowler,
so what is like if you get every strike, what's the top?
300.
300's the best.
Okay. But
I bowl people that typically do anywhere between a 180 to a 270. So like my 140, I'm like, fuck yeah, like living on, and they're like, oh, it's such a good job for you. Like, again, I'm just like, at least I'm cute, right? Like,
a lot of random hugs from old guys.
Yeah,
I do. I know. Again, I'm like the only girl
they just want to feel your boobs against their body,
or my tight skin. I know.
Slide the hand down the butt cheek.
I actually did have one guy.
Bill.
He's really old. I love him. He's so nice.
Bill, are you jealous at all?
I don't get jealous.
He doesn't.
You don't.
Even if they're really hot. Well, I don't know. Maybe you would.
If they like really pushed it hard in front of you.
No, because that's even like Ryan Gosling could be like just hitting on you like crazy. That wouldn't make me jealous. It'd be whatever your reaction is to that.
Yeah.
Right? That'd be where jealousy comes from.
Right.
And you don't react that way to these people.
Yes.
So. We don't know that.
And even if you were like, again, like a Gosling or something comes up and is hitting on you and you're kind of being a little flirty back and flustered, like, yeah,
as long as you're like,
Gosling.
This is my husband, Bill.
Like we were supposed to go to Barbados this winter, and I kept saying like, hey, we're going to meet Rihanna.
Yeah.
Because she lives in Barbados, right?
Is she your crush? Do you have a crush?
I have a crush on a lot of people, but we're going to Barbados. We're going to meet Rihanna. if we
weren't
meet
really
her and
actually
it
meeting her.
happens, I mean, like, we kind of have to have sex with Rihanna.
Both of you or just
No,
one of
you're
you?
also
Whoever
assuming-
Rihanna wants to have sex with, she can have sex with.
Okay, first off, you're assuming we're gonna meet her at Sandals. I feel like she like has her own nice mansion somewhere. Secondly, you're assuming like if we see her, we have to have. There's a thing called consent. Like she has to like want. And have
She has
sex.
to approach us, which she obviously will.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think she
Yes.
will.
And Rihanna gets what Rihanna wants. I'll sit in the corner and watch if I need to. Okay.
You would.
I mean, whatever works, man.
Yeah, you've done spring break in Miami. You know what it's like.
I was perfect.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I do have to ask.
These are the kind of conversations we would have while shopping for houses, by the way.
Right.
I know, gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, conversations you two would have.
Yeah.
I'm actually like shopping. Like I'm looking at like how
Yeah.
But
You're so intense.
So I have to ask. I always wonder this. Okay, two things. One, can I one day come over to your house? I really want to see your house.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So I live very vicariously through your Facebook. Sometimes you post pictures of your kids in your kitchen,
Yeah.
or like near your fireplace, like
Yep. Yep.
And I'm always like, you could ask Bill. I'm always like, I love what little I can see. I love it, and I'm like, this is why, because you are so damn hardworking. Like I know you are. I've been with you for so
Yeah.
long. Looking, you don't ever stop working. You have 3
Right.
children, which now are almost adults, so it's kind of probably a little bit easier. But I'm sure when they were younger, it had to be so hard.
It was so
working and
crazy.
having young children and being a single mom. And you live in a really nice area. You have a really nice house. I want to see your house.
Okay. All
Like
right.
I just want to see like how much, like how accomplished. Like I'm like that's like my goal because I know you are, and I'm like,
Oh, you're so sweet. It has been a wild ride. It has been a wild, I would say like the hardest part is like when they were all in sports and I would have to do pickups and drop-offs.
Yeah.
Like all of them on the same night, and sometimes for some children to multiple sports that night.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And
bet.
nobody really helped me. I did have a couple people that carpooled parents, and that was the savior, the
Yeah.
carpool parents. And I don't know. Sometimes I think, it's like I was married. I was kind of the mom. So, I was still working a lot.
Yeah.
And now I'm single, and I've been the dad
Yeah.
for 12 years. So I have a newfound respect for dads. I have a respect for moms because I've been a mom, and I was kind of more of a mom while I was married. But
Yeah.
it's like I don't miss the struggle I think that married people have when they're like, no, you do it. No, you do it. Or
Right.
like, I know you guys have a pretty clear system set up with Bill cooking in the evening
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. But I think just the anxiety and the tension that married people have about being mad at each other for not helping enough
Yeah.
or one person doing more that
Oh, yeah.
like, so in a weird way, I guess me being a type A personality, in a weird way, it's easier to just not anticipate or hope for help.
Right.
Right.
And do you know when you
Yeah.
hope that someone else
Yeah.
will get up when the baby's crying or whatever,
Right.
and
they
you're
don't,
like,
and
no.
you have that disappointment feeling,
Yeah.
and then
I mean, we still hope. It's 2 a.m. It's like,
Yeah.
I hope Stacy thinks I'm still asleep.
yeah,
But she
yeah,
does the same thing.
It's a
but,
lot.
But I get it. It's more of like, if I'm getting what you're saying, it's like, with you being like very type A and go, you'd almost rather just be like, I'll just do it myself, as opposed to just like trying to get somebody else, like
Yeah.
trying to schedule somebody else to do it like
Yeah.
with me. I just rather do it all myself, right?
Yeah.
And no matter
Yeah.
if even it's harder.
yeah.
Yes, and it is a trip trying to spend time with your kids and work 15 hours a day and
I know.
then come home at 11 o'clock. And that's usually when I blow at my,
Yeah.
or in the past when I
Yeah.
would blow up at my kids. It's like, especially when it's hot out, because I don't like to be hot.
I don't either. I know the feeling.
And I'm like tromping in and out of non-air conditioned, like,
Yeah.
flip houses that are just trashed and moldy and dog shit all over the floor and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
And
horrible.
granted, now, of course, I have the flip side. I have my multi-million-dollar houses that I
Yeah,
list,
yeah,
and
yeah.
lots of people in between, which is people are always like, somebody said to me last week, oh no, you're just showing us a 300. And I was like, are you kidding me? No. Oh my gosh. I do everything. So
Yeah.
anyway, when I would flip out on my kids, it was hot out.
Yep.
Late at night, I get
Stress.
home and
Yep.
they would like not take the trash out. They'd just sit trash like on the counter and just leave
yeah.
it there, and I would be like,
I know.
yeah.
You haven't been home all day. Like,
Yeah.
you at least want to come home and, like, it's just, no, I get it.
yeah.
Because I remember, like, when we were looking for houses, like you and I, like, gosh, like, we would start from, like, oh my God, all day. I don't even know how I kept my job, because I was in and out constantly, like, meeting up with you, and we would go from far distances, like 30 minutes away in all sorts of directions, and, like,
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, I was like, I know you drive that big SUV. I was like, I hope the commission at least covered the gas for all these fucking houses
Oh
you
yeah.
drove to.
No, that was a crazy couple of years for sure for the whole real estate industry. It was
Yeah.
a trip. Although I have to say, I really miss those 2 and 3% interest rates for my clients.
oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
but I mean, I was gonna say
know. We went from, like, 2.25
2.9 to 5 something, and I think now like I saw, I was walking into. Where's I walking? I was walking into somewhere, and they saw like current 30-year fix, like 6.97. I was like, whoa, good thing we don't have that one. But
I know. So in a weird way, it's good that you guys rushed through it.
Mm-hmm.
and we can always refinance. But I mean, obviously for you, like lower interest rates mean more business.
Yeah.
But obviously, like the market trying to, it's like
Yeah.
like trying to find a house for us, and our
Yeah.
pricing is so insane. I mean, they had to do something to get it to kind of.
Yeah.
I'm still
Chill out of
busy. I'm just, I think the thing that has dropped off for me personally is my investors aren't really buying as much right now.
Right.
And, I do have a lot of investment business. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
So with kids being older, right?
Yes.
Something that I think about in the future and how I react as a dad is, what's it like when your kids start seriously dating?
I mean, so I am an encourager of it. I know people are like, well, that means they're having sex or whatever. But to me, it's like, I'd rather my kids have sex with one person than be whoring around.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does
Oh,
that
yeah.
make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I have always loved the people that they pick. We have many deep, long conversations about the quality. I mean, and I've even said to my son, my older son, not my younger son, like, be careful who you have sex with, because hypothetically, anybody you have sex with can get pregnant, even if it's just like at a party in the back room or whatever. But also, you have to be careful. You have to make sure you have express permission in this day and age,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we talked about that on the last episode, where obviously, like, not to denigrate anybody that's ever been assaulted, but now, like, all it takes is, I mean, you hear more and more once you actually get down, like, some girls like accuses a guy of raping her at a party or something.
Right.
And they get down to it, it's like, oh no, like, you either regret it or you were both drunk. And I mean, even you hear stories, not as much, it's not as serious, but you like teenage girl, like high school girls flipping out because a guy like tried to kiss her, after a date, and she didn't say he could do that.
Like,
right?
how are these kids? I mean, no wonder porn is so prevalent now, because how are they ever gonna feel safe enough to even try to kiss a girl?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I guess the girls have to.
I mean, that's
the
the
guys.
worry. Like with two boys,
Yeah.
that's my worry. Like, and I'm also like, I was never like a big player or anything. I'm kind of a romantic, you know.
You've always had long relations. Like when you dated somebody,
Yeah,
you dated for a
I've
long
been
time.
very like typically. I mean, I've had a couple of the like one night things. Didn't like
Yeah.
it. It was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great in the moment, I guess.
Well, yeah.
but-
I always say to my kids, you want to be in a relationship with someone you love, because if nothing else, you're going to want more the first time you have sex. And then if it's a one night thing, you're not going to go back and have sex with that person again. In a relationship, you could do it again.
Right, exactly,
It's
yeah.
like, you gotta
but
get
yeah,
more.
just like for my boys, like even outside of sex, not even getting there, but like the first kiss, it's always like this nervous. You're already nervous
I know.
anyways, and wanting to like make it this moment. Now, if you're having to worry about like, what if I lean in and she like flips out because like, I didn't
Right.
ask her first?
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, or he does it, and
Right.
the next thing you know, like she runs inside, tells her parents, like, he gets me without giving me consent.
And, you know, like when I said that to my son for the first time, he goes, I don't even touch girls if they've been drinking. But the real, like in my childhood, like that was when you were drinking, was when you were doing
Right, because you had the
first
balls to
kisses
do
and
it,
stuff like that. So
yeah.
I've said this before. Have you ever seen the movie Superbad?
no, but I want to.
Oh, you should watch
You
it.
should.
Because they can never make a movie like that again, because it was what my high school was.
It
It's
was
two
like
high
that.
school kids trying to
Maybe
get
I
alcohol.
did. Was there a drug dealing brother or something?
I don't know, but like, so it's literally two high school kids that get invited to like some hot girls party, and they're
Yes.
trying to get alcohol to
Right.
get girls drunk,
To get
so
laid.
that they'll have sex with them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Which, like,
so
when you
true.
say it like that, I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's fucking awful. But in reality, it's like, that's what like high school and college was.
Totally. That was how we grew up. That was
And it was
everything.
back in, like, yeah.
I know.
And I'm sure, like, I don't know the female side of it, but I'm sure, like,
No,
girls
that
are probably
was
like,
so
I'm going to
true.
get fucked up and we're going to make some bad decisions.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know?
yes. You purposely would wear like your thong a little bit over your low cut jeans, just a tad, so boys knew you had a thong on. But like, you know, like,
Ooh.
yes, at least I did that. I mean, I feel like me and my friends did. So I feel like everyone probably did.
I mean,
I
there's
don't
a reason
think
I
jeans
started
were as
dating you.
low in my day. You know, that's
No,
more like,
Was it more higher up now, like they are now?
they were like the mom jeans
Yeah.
back then in
Yeah.
the 90s,
But
to
I
80s.
love them
But the
now.
swimsuit
Yeah.
straps came up higher.
Right.
That's true. The high cut swimsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
I won't do
I'm
that.
seeing it now. Like young Stephanie, Miami Beach,
I know.
I know.
pink bottom coming like way up
I
here.
know. I know.
Boobing out all over South Beach.
My daughter and I were cleaning the garage a couple weeks, maybe months ago, and I had a bin full of all of my, you know, photos from
Yeah.
like
Oh, Lord.
my 20s, where like 6 months of traveling Europe and,
Yeah.
you know, all the Vegas trips and the Super Bowls. And there was a picture of me in like a leather vest, right? And she's like, oh my God, you look just like me.
She does.
She looks
I was
just
gonna
And I was
say,
like you. Oh
I
my
I think
God.
that because, you know, she sees me, she knows me,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
she
yeah.
didn't really know.
No, when I see her,
Me as a
I'm
hot
like,
person,
and
right?
I've Facebook stalked you from a long time. So I'm curious. I'm like, I want to see how you looked when you were young. And you guys are a spitting. I'm like, oh my,
Yeah.
yes. You know who else has a beautiful daughter as well? And you know this person.
Oh, Ellie.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love
She's
them.
gorgeous too.
Yes.
Oh
Oh,
my
she.
gosh,
Oh,
like-
and her mom. Have you
Yes.
ever met her mom?
Not in person, in pictures though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like-
Well, so Scotty was in the same class with her from kindergarten on.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and he
Oh,
had
yeah.
a big crush on
I'll have to go
her.
out and edit out the last name. But
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
But
I
she
couldn't-
showed me pictures of her, like, when she was, like, a senior in high school. And she just showed me a
Yes.
picture of, like, her senior picture. I was like,
She is
prom, like,
damn,
stunning.
who is that? It's like, oh, this is this guy's
Yes.
daughter's senior photos. I'm like, oh,
She is
damn it.
stunning.
Like, why'd you have to
Yeah,
do that?
and
to
she
me?
was always a cute kid, right? But not like
Yeah, yeah. We
But
had
I
Right.
think your daughter's the same. It's just the blonde version of her.
Yeah.
But just as beautiful. And I was
yeah.
like,
so
I know.
Yeah.
They're cute.
they all are. All your kids are. I kind of want to see a picture of their dad. I got to see where the other 50% is coming
Right.
from. Because I see you in them.
Yes.
But I also see a guy,
I'd
obviously.
assume, you know, obviously we won't get into it. You're divorced for a reason. Dad's
Right.
really not around.
Right.
Whatever. But seeing what your daughter looks like, and I made the assumption, like, that's probably what Stephanie looked like. I would assume you weren't slumming it with some dude who wasn't hot. I'm
Yeah.
guessing
Yeah.
he probably was a fairly attractive guy.
He was cute. My
Yeah.
youngest looks the most like him. He's
Yeah.
got those big blue eyes.
Yeah.
And, you know, honestly, I mean, I can remember saying to somebody when my kids were little, who do you think they look like? And they're like, well, you both kind of look alike. So in a weird way, you know,
Yeah.
he has bigger, rounder blue eyes. And
Blonde hair.
I always thought he was blonde, but he would fight me and say, I am not blonde, you know? So it was like a light brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, guys don't want to be blonde.
They don't.
Don't
huh?
trust blonde men.
Weird.
Don't
That's
trust
so
blonde men.
crazy. Huh. I think because I always dated blondes when my hair was dark.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then when I went blonde, then I started dating dark-haired guys. Is it weird? Or
that's
people
interesting.
really
No, you're just
opposite?
you're just making sure there's contrast in the photos. You're being a J-Lo.
Yeah.
You're being a J-Lo. You want to make sure you look good in pictures.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think people like me better that knew me as a dark-haired person. But, yeah, I don't know.
So do you think now that your children are older and more self-sufficient, do you think you'll ever go back to dating again? I mean, I know
I take
you're
a lot
pretty much
of
married
crap.
to your life or your work. So
Yeah, I take a lot of crap over it. From my friends and people that want to date me, you know, or used to want to date me, because I've pretty much shut most of that down.
Yeah.
But I hope so. You know, it's kind of tough being married to a real estate agent
It is.
Yeah.
You work all the time.
all the time.
I
And
would text you like 11 o'clock at night.
I know.
about listings. And you're up. You're responding. I'm like,
I know.
Oh my God, you're actually awake.
I'm pretty dedicated to my
Yeah.
kids and my work. And, you know, the last time I tried to date someone, I literally could not go on a date with him for like a couple weeks. And
Right.
he finally was like,
Okay.
I give up.
Yeah.
And I truly was, honest to God, I was booked. I mean, I was booked 100%. And I don't want to make people feel that I don't care about them, because
Right.
I do care about them. But like, I'm supporting my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody else is going to do it. I get $30 a month in child support.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, I don't want my kids to not have a 2-parent life.
Right.
I want them to have a 2-parent life. And I'm the only one doing that.
So you're like mom, dad, and dual income supporter, and you have this house, and you have to, like, you know, drive them around, do all this stuff. Like, it's a lot.
And I love
to
it.
play
And I love
devil's avocado here, instead of dating, you know, maybe one day Stephanie sells a couple more of these like $3-4 million houses, gets a boat, and a hot 20-year-old that just comes around when she calls.
Right.
Would that be something you're into?
I mean, I did kind of date a couple younger guys for a while there. And they didn't have kids yet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, fuck that. Like, I'm not. That was when I still could have another baby, you know? But I have to tell you, there's something wonderful about, you know, just having a friendship with a younger person.
Yeah.
They're so carefree. They're not like all bitter and angry at their ex-wife and paying child support and negative. And, you know, they're just like, huh, let's go get some breakfast, dude.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Just like, yeah. And so I think that I would love to have a grown man who's like my age, that's been divorced, that isn't going to hold all of their ex-wives' negative things that they have done against the new. I think that's the thing that I find the most. People are so scarred
They
by
carry
their
a lot of that resentment into
Yes.
new relationships, or I guess like
Yes.
lack of trust, maybe.
right.
Yeah.
And because
I can
when
see
I'm
that.
in, I am all in.
Yeah.
You know, I sort of just, you know, talk to people or whatever. I was for a while. I'm trying not to be. I'm not. I don't like messing with people.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a realtor, you know, talking to me for a couple days a few weeks ago, and you know, he's like, let's go, you know, do something one afternoon, go run a couple errands. And I
Yeah.
was just like,
Go to the farmer's market.
yeah,
drinks at the
like
farmer's
I just
market.
am like, I think I'm so out of the loop now
I know.
that I don't even want to take time out of my
It's
schedule
so
to give it to someone else.
Scary. Like, I think dating nowadays, like, how it's all technology, you know? Like, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Right.
know. I mean, I think for people that might help, like, but I think about like, man, what like if I was single again? Like, what is dating like in your late 30s as opposed to being like, what's dating like when you're older with grown kids?
Right.
And, like, what is that like? And what are you really looking for? And like,
Yeah.
where do you go?
I think I'm so dedicated to my kids, and I wanted my kids to always know that I was available to them
Yeah.
because they didn't have that from their dad. That I made a decision,
Yeah.
and I decided to 100% just quit dating, quit socializing, and My friends are all extremely mad at me that I don't, because I'm fun when I'm out.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
I know. We need
You're
to go
fun
out.
as my realtor.
We've been saying this. I mean, it's hard enough to get you to come do this podcast for an hour. But one of these days, like, we're going to go do, like, wherever we want to go. What's, like, are you, like, a West Glen girl, or you go...
West Glen, yeah,
go do
probably.
Shotgun Betty's?
Yeah, whatever. But I also love, like, gay bars.
Yeah.
I mean,
Those are fun.
you can totally just, like, freaking...
Yeah.
be crazy and nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
I love it all. I
Yeah.
love dives. I mean, I think I find weirdly, like when I go out with people, with my friends, I have so much fun in the beginning of the night and we are laughing so hard. And sometimes when people come and try to join in our group, sometimes I'm just like who invited you?
I know.
You know but then other times we just meet people and we're just like, wow.
Yeah. No, I know.
So it's like, I mean, I'm pretty much down for anything.
Yeah.
Probably not speed metal. Probably not. I'm probably not that girl. Or hardcore rap. Those would be like my only two. Like, those are the types of music that I think don't feed my soul.
Right. Yeah. I can understand that. Yeah.
Not a Tupac fan, huh?
I really don't know. I've heard some of his music that I think's okay, but more
hardcore rap.
I'm thinking like
I don't
mumble rap, like trap music.
Yeah, gross.
I like it, but I could see why you wouldn't.
I mean, maybe one of your kids starts dating somebody with a hot single dad.
But then she can't date him because then if they get like married and they get married, then it's like weird.
She did what she needed to have for those kids to have a great life. Maybe the kid needs to break up with the person so that the mom can date the dad. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, stop being selfish, children.
Right. Well, the last guy I talked to, he, was a sports parent also. And he probably would have been like the perfect guy for me. But it was like in the heat of football season. And and this was literally like, I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe. And I guess I would say that was probably the last person I had feelings for.
Right.
But I literally was trying to make time for him. And I couldn't do it. And so he was like, so finally he's like, okay, I'm going to give you this one last try. He's like, I could tell he was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
He goes, I know you're not going to be busy. Saturday, I'm getting ready to head up to go to the Iowa game. And I'd love to take you to breakfast before I head out. And I was like, I literally can't make this stuff up. I literally have concession duty that morning. Concession duty for like 6 different activities in sports, No, and I was like, he goes, okay. And I think he thought I was literally just shooting him down.
Yeah.
But it's just literally my life. And that was when I was like, okay.
Done.
Time to stop.
Because it's not fair for them.
It's not fair for them.
For you either.
Not fair for me.
Yeah.
But the problem is now I've had like my own bed for so long. I've had my own bathroom for so long.
You kind of set in your own ways.
I just don't
have
know.
Somebody else there, like
maybe
like hair, because Bill, he does a very good job cleaning up. When he shaves his beard, like there's just hair. And I'm like,
right. But we have hair everywhere,
I know,
right?
But I clean the house.
Do you ever find like hair in your butt crack and stuff like that?
Yep.
I found her long hair wrapped around something. I was like, how did this get
That's scary. That can be dangerous. You gotta watch that.
At the urinal at work, like, what is this?
Oh my God, right? It's
I
everywhere.
have really long hair, so
I know. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot of because I have single friends and they're like, there's no good men. And I'm like, I think there's a ton of really amazing people out there.
Yes.
There's plenty of good men. You also have to realize from a guy's perspective and seeing from all ages, like her sister who's 25 and what she's like, this is the guy gotta be, this is that's what you're looking for. Guys aren't that. You need to maybe understand.
Yes.
They're not all going to be 6'6",
right?
Making 6 figures.
Yes.
And want to cook all day.
Yeah, and they're clean, and they're not needy, and they don't cheat on you, and they're not a fuckboy. And then she has this whole list of things she wants.
Because she's hot too. She's super beautiful.
But even older, I'd imagine single friends when they're older, they're like, oh, I need there's these check marks. Okay, maybe some of these you're going to have to. Just like guys looking for girls, there's no perfect ones.
And really, so many people I meet do meet their spouses online.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, I think that helps people find them.
Oh yeah, I think it's better. It's better than going to a bar,
Yeah.
on a Saturday night and finding
Right.
like, oh, we both got drunk together. You want to start dating?
No, I know, because we just happen to be at the right place at the right.
Right.
That's kind of like those Bachelor shows. I think like when you go out to a bar and there are 25 hot guys there, and that's like all you have to pick for your husband forever. Like no, because there's so many like people have so many idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree.
Oh
The
yeah.
other time.
But so before we wrap things up, gotta ask, top of your head, what's the most embarrassing thing your kids have ever seen you do?
Oh.
Like, did you ever get like walked in on, or if you can't think of something, what's the most embarrassing thing you've seen your kids do?
Oh God! I
You
wish I
ever-
could have prepared. There's probably millions of them.
You ever pick a sock up off the floor and go, no?
Oh, all the time. Oh yeah, the pocket pussy.
Oh, my
oh
gosh.
yeah.
What?
Oh, pocket
Wait,
pussy. You
your
don't?
kids have one of those?
Sure.
Like an actual one?
Yes. Do you not know?
Oh, he
I
knows.
know what they are.
Do you have one, Bill?
She's small, but she doesn't fit in my pocket.
Well, I think he's shocked that they would have that because we talked about that as a joke, like just people have like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't.
I'm
I
not
never
judging
knew,
people for
I never
having
knew.
them.
I never knew what it was.
If I walked into like Brooks's room when he's like in high school and
Yeah.
has one, I'd be like, where did you
Where'd you get this? I've been from.
We call it POC.
Oh my god.
I mean,
That is
you know,
so
it's
funny.
like, and I was literally just going to say, I think that having been home with just boys since Suzanne left for college, I do have a lot better understanding and compassion for dudes.
Oh, we're animals.
I mean, you
We're
know,
creatures.
it's like
we're
it's
creatures.
just something else.
gosh.
My parents were divorced. I was raised with my mom and my sister, and not didn't live with my dad that much. But my dad was like a total gentleman.
Yeah.
Never saw him like in his underwear.
Right, right,
just
yeah.
like super kind,
like, yeah,
loving.
yeah.
He was a dude, but he
Yeah.
was not with us, right? And but then I'm home with these boys. Oh my God. And it is like
This is what I'm
mayhem.
walking into. So I'm gonna need to
Right?
call you. Like,
Mayhem.
That's like my biggest fear.
Yes.
Is like.
Like, I honestly see, like, did you buy it for him? Because you're like, I'm tired of washing all these fucking socks and towels.
I think they ordered it on my Amazon. Yeah.
You knew they were getting it. You're like,
Yeah, I'm like, it's better than going and, fucking a
seen it.
skanky
Yeah,
bitch
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever and getting,
Yeah.
diseases or whatever. So, but all their friends are alpha. My house has been the house where they have all just been at beating the fuck out of each other for decades,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're animals.
Yeah.
And, but they're also just sweet and
No, there's two
wonderful.
sides.
Yeah.
There's two
Yeah,
sides
yeah,
of this,
yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
like, I'm a fairly sweet person, right? Like, I'm very caring and
Yes.
stuff. But in the heat of the moment,
But
like-
you're a dude.
like, she gets
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's down for it, which is great.
Yes.
Which is also another thing. I was thinking about this today. Another reason to have relationships, because we're like, oh, marriage. It's like, we've been married for 10 years, and the sex has only gotten better. I think because
Really?
yeah, because I think like
Oh, just-
went
yeah.
from like
Because
went
you
from-
do her projects. If you didn't give her
No.
what she wanted,
Oh, no, he
she
doesn't do her
wouldn't. She
projects.
wouldn't screw you. I
Not
always say to my
anymore.
kids, like, you better learn how to do the dishes and do the laundry, or
Yeah.
your wife's not going to want to fuck you.
Right. No, so true.
Is that terrible?
No,
I think it's
very
more like
true.
after 10 years, like it's just like okay, like now what do we do? Like
Right.
it's just like
Right.
And I think
Well,
what
you got to
helps
get
is-
like a
and what-
Kama Sutra. It's just like
Right.
all about
oh, that we did
positions.
that in the apartment.
Positions. Oh, you've been doing
That's
that.
like 5 years ago.
We've moved out of positions. We're doing other stuff. Now. Like,
Oh,
One thing what helps is that like I'm very open to trying anything really.
yeah.
But I will say what helps, and he knows this, is like, when I come home from work and I'm like tired and I've had my youngest all day at work with me, and then like dinner's ready, our oldest is showered, and then like he showers the younger one, and then he's like, you know what, babe, go upstairs and just
Bill,
have time for
You're
yourself.
a genius.
I know.
Oh my God.
And then I'll go upstairs and there'll be a drink ready for me, a shot, maybe a little like smoky, and I
Uh-huh.
can just kind of
Yeah.
like decompress.
Hey. just doing that kind of stuff is literally the back door to the back door. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm
That's
saying?
the back rub,
Yeah.
the massage,
Why do
the
you have-
emotional
I don't
massage,
have to do
No,
massages
mentally.
anymore.
right?
I just need to like, because I try
and
to
you're happy to do it. You're not.
No,
I do think that helps a ton
It really
because
does.
women.
you
love
need a
that.
minute to yourself before you can like give yourself to somebody else. You know what I mean? Because you give yourself to your children all day long,
For
and
sure.
then you come home and then like your husband wants something. It's like, But
Yes.
if they give you that time to go upstairs and like for me, I'll watch like true crime
Oh,
show or like Lifetime movie or something
Yep.
stupid, but like I can just emerge for 2 hours of no interruptions. Like I can have a drink. I'm in my jammies in bed and I'm just like comfortable. And he puts the kids to bed for me, and then he comes
And you deal
upstairs.
with kids all day.
I know.
Yeah. Like,
I know. And then it's like, okay, I've recharged my batteries.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like I'm mellow. I'm happy. Like let's hang out together.
See,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
See, I'm the same, but like I can work up until like total bedtime.
Yeah.
But then if someone will lay with me and just hold me and be sweet to me for like a half an hour, like I'll have sex with them for hours after that, like
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
So it's just like, not the like stuff their hand down
Right,
the
right,
pants
right,
and
right.
start grabbing your boob.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like actually just cuddle. Like,
yes.
just cuddle
right.
for a second.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So
I get
I
that.
think that everybody has their stuff that they need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
So,
get it.
good job, Bill.
We're gonna wrap that one up. So,
On that note,
if you need a house in the Des Moines area, or are a single guy that wants to make Stephanie feel like the small spoon before hours of wild sex, hit me up, parentsswear@gmail.com, and I'll vet you first. I'm not going to just
right.
every creep, but then I'll give you her information. You can slide dick pics into her DMs all you want.
That's exactly what we all want.
Yes. I didn't know this was an advertisement for me, but thank you.
So don't worry, we'll get you laid.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, but again, I know your time is very valuable.
Yes.
So thank you so much for
thanks, you
coming.
guys.
And
I love you.
also, thank you for dealing with us for two houses now. Because I know I told her
love it.
every time when we go see a house, I'd be like, do I need to text Stephanie and apologize? Because I will say, audience, when it comes to shopping for houses, probably the only thing in the world I become a super dick about.
Well, that's kind of why
No.
Stephanie and I we just looked at the house on our own. Bill actually didn't even see this house until I made an offer on it. So 'cause
Bill,
there's just
you
no
got so like you're just like give her what she wants. Another thing.
Oh, I give her what she wants.
Give her what she wants, and then you can give her what she wants.
Typically a lot of choking and things like that. But which actually,
funny.
again, we always have so much fun with you. So we definitely have to do this again.
Yeah.
When you get
Yes.
time, maybe
so
when
fun.
maybe next time you come on, daughter's, I don't know, engaged, maybe not. She's a little too young for that. Or the
They've
older.
been together for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
But they both have to. He's a year younger, so they have to graduate. But
Yeah. But yeah, or one of the sons upgrades from POC to,
right,
some other fleshy hole to stick things in.
right.
But-
Yes.
But so yeah. Anyways, it's been great. This has been a fun
Yes,
episode.
Yes, thank you.
And
Thanks for having me.
So yeah. So for Stephanie, for Stacy, I'm Bill. This has been the Parents That Swear. The kids are waking up from nap, so we got to get out of here.
Fantastic.
Good night.
Yeah. Morning, by the way.